That crew is the best, by the way. I'm so happy they're joining us at ESPN. Everyone was stunned after Hallie's heroics last night, including Charles Barkley, who also had this to say about the series moving forward. Charles.
The Knicks, to me, they look tired. They did.
Exhausted.
They look exhausted. Because obviously we have a camera view where we can watch players like, yo, this man is bent over in the second quarter. And I says, but the Patriots going to play like this every game. If they play 4 games, 5 games, 6 games, 7 games. And now, because the Knicks went an extra game because we were working on the schedule with the Celtics, these things that we're going to play every other day now.
That's right, we are.
And you can't – so to answer your question, can they play those guys?
7 guys.
Every other day? No, they cannot.
Oh, Monica, the name is fitting. Is the Pacers' pace too much for New York?
I'm not going to say too much, but it does require deliberate attention and focus in terms of guarding. And I think you saw that in the fourth quarter, clutch time specifically in the fourth quarter, and in the overtime period, because their variance in the half court, some of the looks that Aaron Nesmith got, the back cut by Nembhard that we talked about this morning, their variance in the half court is a part of their pace as well. It's not just up and down transition.
I'm over having excuses. Like, every single series, when will the Knicks get tired? Like, that's been the common question asked, right? And they've been able to battle through it. So no more excuses for me on that end, because the Knicks can dictate the pace. I think it's about being intentional when the game requires it to. So, look, when Cat hits a transition 3, like, that's good pace if you want to play fast. You know, if you talk about Jalen Brunson getting a quick post-up, that's good pace. But I think them trying to mimic Indiana's pace is the wrong strategy for them to have. Like, I go back again to that turnover by Jalen Brunson last night. That was the pace they were playing with in the first, second, and third quarter. Can't play that way down the stretch. The pace has to be slower, but that's up to game management, and that's where I think the Knicks have an advantage if they can figure it out.
Okay, let's check in with Charlie, as in Charlie's Angels. Stephen A., what do you think? You're on a new big screen. You're looking great. We moved you around the studio.
Well, first of all, I do like myself on the big screen. What I did have a problem with was y'all taking pictures during the commercial break right in front of my face, like blocking me. You know what I'm saying? That was very disrespectful. That was very disrespectful.
We put you in some of them, and then we asked you out.
I'm sorry for the distraction. Could you come here for a second, please? I mean, my nose is a little shiny here before I get into the conversation. Thank you very much, please. Thank you so much. I really
Actually, I think you have enough makeup on.
Anyway, you know, I mean, but it was a little shiny. It was a little like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I didn't want to be that way. All right, now here's the deal, y'all. Here's the deal. Jay Williams, I'm very disappointed in your take, Jay Williams, because you're not being as real and authentic as I know you to be. We have to pay attention to pace in this series, and here's the reason why. Indiana has proven they can go 11 deep. They went 11 deep on many occasions throughout the season, okay? They're one of the fastest, if not the fastest paced team. And, Jay, you know this better than me. Do you realize that Indiana runs even after makes by the opposition? It ain't just missed and they get out running. They run after makes. And so you got a guy in Rick Carlisle, when you look at him going 11 deep, 11 paces average at least 15 minutes a game during the regular season. 11. So this is Rick Carlisle we're talking about, a championship coach who knows what's required in order to win championships, all right? Juxtapose that to Tom Thibodeau, a great coach without question, but never has coached in an NBA Finals as a head coach. It has not happened. And so we have to look at that, and we have to think about what we have said about the New York Knicks, how this man will run his players into the ground. The New York Knicks, in terms of their bench productivity, averaged a league low 21.7 points, while also playing the fewest minutes of anybody in the NBA. You think Rich Carlisle's not paying attention to that? Of course he is. That's why he's continuously imploring his team, run, because he's playing the long game. Now, I don't know if it'll work for this series. I hope not. I think the New York Knicks can withstand it, but it's not an accident that they won the way that they did last night. Up 14 with 2:40 left, up 9 with 52 seconds left. New York Knicks turning the ball over. There were a couple of occasions, Jay, you saw Jalen Brunson. He was lucky. A couple of more were not turnovers. We got to look at that. Anunoby as well. Lucky. There's not turnovers. I'm just saying we can't ignore that in terms of pace of play, particularly with the Pacers, and how it's very intentional with them, especially against somebody like the Knicks, whose depth they obviously question.
Well, can I cook for a second?
Let me use your apron. What you need?
Yeah, sure. Molly, what was the question again?
Thank you. That's what I was going to.
I don't even remember.
It's on the bottom. Okay. The Pacers pays too much.
Pacers depth.
Yeah, Pacers pays too much.
Problem.
So Stephen A.
And that's what J.B. Bickerstaff said yesterday was going to dictate this.
Agreed.
If Indy plays at their pace, that Indy's winning.
Okay. So with that being said, whose job is it, Stephen A., to control the pace of the game? It's Tom Thibodeau.
Well, Brunson and Thibodeau. Thibodeau and Tom and Brunson.
So my thing is, the only reason that this question would be, yes, the Pacers' pace is too much for the Knicks, is if Tom Thibodeau can't control the pace that's conducive for the Knicks to play out to win the damn series. So you can't match that by playing the same pace as the Pacers. You need to, at certain moments of the game,
I agree,
to control the pace of the game.
I don't disagree.
That's why I still believe that the Knicks are going to win the series, because they have to control that, right? But, like, I don't think the Pacers' pace is just going to play.
But hold on, Jay. Hold it. How is it, how is Tom Thibodeau, what is he going to do? If you're running after made baskets, you're making the Knicks run. You saw Karl Anthony Towns looking a bit gimpy late, right? Because he hurt his leg. Okay, I'm just saying, I'm looking at stuff like this. It's making me nervous. It's making me nervous.
Well, that's different. I mean, making you nervous. I mean, I know even after made shots, when you coach thousands of games or you're playing thousands of games, it's like, hey, you can put a defender up on the ball. It's like, okay, just let me give you a little shadow defense. Let me slow you down a little bit. It's just about tagging people where they're at on the court, and your defensive scheme has to fit that to slow them down to control the pace of the game.
I would also add this. The way that the question is phrased in terms of it being too much, if the answer is yes right now, then you're signing up that the series is over, right?
Yes.
Is it a key to this game? Is it the number one thing on the scouting report? Absolutely. It's going to be pivotal, but there are ways that I do think the Knicks
that's
can
where I
slow
want
the
to go
pace.
right now. And Stephen A. just alluded to the fact that he's concerned about Cat's health as well. Do we think the Knicks can come back from this and still win this series, Monica?
I do. Through this postseason, they have a track record of responding after losses. Jalen Brunson is terrific, plus 35 points after losses. He is much better when he does not turn the ball over. 7 turnovers for him is an outlier in terms of the record that provides the Knicks. I actually think for, 46 minutes of the ball game, I mean, they played, or 36 rather, they played good basketball. Like, the Knicks overall played a good game. There were just a few moments, which represents playoff basketball in terms of the margin of error. In those few moments, ultimately, small slices lead to your demise.
Stephen A., can your Knicks recover from this epic Game 1 collapse?
Damn it, they better. They better. That's what I'm going to say is the answer to that question. And by the way, Monica, you know, the Boston Celtics looked pretty damn good for the first 3 quarters in games 1 and 2 against the New York Knicks. You know, and then look what happened with them. So, you know, at the end of the day, did you close? So last night was an emphatic no. They did not close. Am I worried about them? Sure. Do I believe they can still win this series? Absolutely. But they're going to have to do a better job of controlling pace and guarding the shooters. Guarding the shooters. They're going to have to do that. If they don't, they're going to lose this series.
Yeah, I'm with these two. Look, I think Indiana, it's a 50-50 shot for me about who can win this. I think this is going to come down to Game 7. Because their games mirror each other, and they have a lot of similarities in the way they play. But I will say, once again, management of the game is going to be critical for the Knicks. They were up 9 with 43 seconds left to go in the damn game. Up 9. They're up 14 with 2:51 to go in the game.
Yeah.
They seized control.